The Nationals have confirmed that they will support the federal government's 2050 net zero target. Let's go live to Canberra now, and joining us is the Nationals Senator Matt Canavan. Senator, good to see you. So you've lost your battle, but have you lost the war?
Oh, the war continues, Peter. You never give up hope that common sense will reign. I just think it's unfortunate. Well, I believe that the country will perhaps have to go through the school of hard knocks a little before we wake up to ourselves. That's what's happening in Europe right now. They've gone down this path and energy prices have gone up 6 times. They have lines at petrol stations and they're even struggling to feed themselves. I really do worry when the Liddell coal-fired power station starts to shut next year that we're not ready for this, and we're heading down this path heedlessly, denying ourselves the right to the economic resources we have in coal and gas and, of course, uranium as well. That can only leave our country weaker, especially given the troubled times that we see in our region.
Well, you're in government. How are you going to campaign on this next year and even sell the policy when the whole party isn't really into it?
Well, 2 things, Peter. No, number one, I mean, it's not the first time a Liberal National Party member has taken a different decision or campaigned on an issue differently to the party room. Warren Entsch did that for many years on gay marriage. We have a healthy respect for each other, and I have respect for my colleagues. And I know down here in Canberra, I've learnt the last couple of weeks that down here in Canberra, apparently the most dangerous thing is a difference of opinion. Back in the real world, people don't really mind that. They get that people have differences of opinion, and they like the fact that all their politicians are not puppets, that they're actually willing to have their own say, and there's certainly no strings attached with me. And secondly, I do agree with the Prime Minister that the best thing is if we go down this path, that a Liberal National Party government is elected and returned, partly at least because you've got people like me who are not going to be patsies, who are going to make sure that communities and regional areas are protected, but also that our country as well, that we don't do anything stupid. So I'll just continue that fight, both at the election and going forward if I'm returned.
So you're not going to leave the party over this?
No, I think that's the wrong. I mean, others have done that. I think it's the wrong choice. I mean, the only thing that you achieve when you leave a room after you've lost an argument is your opponents win. They get more numbers, almost certainly, and it's the numbers that matter. So, as I've said this week, I could have used a Corey Bernardi, I could have used a Craig Kelly, but the people that have left our party have been irrelevant to this discussion the last couple of weeks because all of this has happened in the government party room, and that's another reason why I'd implore voters to not vote for minor parties because they might be very good at talking, at speaking their mind, but when they're not in the government party room, there's only a limited influence they can have.
But wouldn't those votes, and if we're talking One Nation or Clive Palmer here, wouldn't those votes come back to you anyway through preferences?
Well, look, that's a huge gamble and risk. Good luck to anyone who thinks they can predict preference flows. They can be very volatile. Of course, at the last election, especially where I'm from in Central Queensland, the focus of people's rage was Shifty Bill Shorten and his different comments that he made about coal in Melbourne and Central Queensland, his lack of strength on any position on Adani. That became the focus, and we ran a very strong put Labor last campaign, which did deliver significant preference flows to the Liberal National parties. But I don't think we can assume lightning will strike twice. I respect voters, and I think they make their own decisions independently. They're no fools, and we'd be folly to treat them as such.
Okay, well, as things stand, though, net zero by 2050 is the commitment that's going ahead. Now, there has been some details that are emerging, including 5-year regional reviews. What do you make of those?
Well, look, I used to work for the Productivity Commission, got a great respect for them, but they're the body that are apparently doing these reviews. They're an advisory body. They can't necessarily change anything. And we have this system in the case of the Murray-Darling Basin. There's 5 yearly reviews by the Productivity Commission of the impact of the Murray-Darling Basin. And the impact of that policy has destroyed many rural and remote communities. And I don't think those communities really care if there's a ruler measuring how far they've fallen. That's kind of beyond the point. So I'm not sure exactly what that will achieve. I don't want people in the position where they have to be measured how bad things are because this is the real dichotomy at the
So
moment.
you're saying
Up
it's just
there,
hot air,
back home.
it's pointless?
Well, I don't think it'll achieve much on its own. No, and look, I wasn't for the sale, so of course I'm not for the sale conditions. But up here where I'm from in Central Queensland, there's this great dichotomy at the moment where our coal has never been in greater demand. The industry's just going gangbusters. Then you come down here and everyone's reading the last rites. And people up there going, are you in the real world? Do you actually know what's going on?
But it's not really
People
the
just think
last
maybe
rites
these
for
border
coal.
closures.
There is a future for it. Even the Labor Party say it's going to be around beyond 2050.
You don't listen to enough ABC, Peter. But I mean, it happens all the time.
I work over
down
here.
And even good for you. But there's all this talk, like even the language saying, oh, there'll still be coal to the 2040s. I mean, it is still suggesting that there's no point opening a new mine because a new mine's 20 or 30 years. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. There is so much demand for our coal. It's going to be around, I think, for centuries.
But that's the point, isn't it? The coal's going to continue. Renewables are going to continue. They can all work together like a melting pot.
Absolutely. But that used to be what the Liberal and National Party said. Malcolm Turnbull used to say that it should be an all of the above, and I completely agree with that. We should be investing in renewables, should be investing in coal, we should be investing in gas, should even be investing in nuclear. We're going to need all these types of energy. The world has never used one type of energy, and the need to increase electricity production and energy use across the world to bring people out of poverty almost has no limit. And that means there will continue to be growth in demand for lots of different energy types, including coal. That is clear and plain as your face in front of you. That is absolutely what's happening. These chicken littles who have said the coal demand's going to fall and the industry's on its last legs, they've been proven wrong time and time again, and it's happening once more.
Okay, Matt Canavan, always good to chat. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Peter.